Man, you heard me? We in the building, in the place to be. You feel me?
All day on this Good Friday.
Thank you for welcoming to the happy hour. You know what I'm saying? This is how we do all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? It's been about a minute since we've been back up on there. Awesome. Let me see that. Sorry. Go ahead and cue over to Sona.
Donald Trump.
Thank you for welcoming to the happy hour. You know what I'm saying? So, and you know what I'm saying? It's been about a minute since we've been back. I don't know what I did to you the last time. Now close it out, yeah. Close it out. Now you can unplug whatever the song. Don't unplug.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, go ahead from there. Because I don't know whether or not this is just here you go. Because it's not going to do anything. It's already unplugged and already closed it out for you.
All right. So we are up and we're active. Tonight, we are broadcasting live over the net in hopes to bust some heads wide open. That is the gist of this evening. Now, like we've done before in rehearsal, just kidding. You will both get or a topic or a question and possibly a video. You get the same question and we will be wanting the perspective of each of you for the reply. Are we good with that?
Cool.
Okay, let's go ahead and introduce ourselves.
I'm Bravo Tuck.
I am Lyrical Ghost, aka the Lyrical Ghost. That's D.A. Duh.
Yeah, man. It ain't no lie, you hear me? The man is good. The man is a tornado on them songs, man. You hear me?
That's right. You know.
All right, libations, let's go.
Ashe.
Okay. Now, don't know if you guys have heard and or saw something that happened here in the state of Georgia. Young lady working at a Dollar General. She's black. Cashier. She has a white person going on a racist rant towards her. Okay. Police are called. Nothing is done to the white woman. The black woman gets on the news. Poor me. I'm going to file a complaint and or try to press charges. And she is completely turned away from the police.
Not surprised.
Not at all. Now, with that, my question is to you. Why is it as black people we allow ourselves to be the victim?
You know, I don't think it's so much as we allow ourselves. I think we are somewhat forced in a position because as black people, we already have a stereotype of we're very violent and aggressive. Therefore, I think subconsciously we try to downplay that stereotype. So we try to be, quote unquote, as civilized as possible. That's why we're always in that victim mode, you know, or looking like we in victim mode because we're always trying to plead our case. Because if we act first, then they're going to look at it as if, oh, where you provoked this situation, you know. So I think it's a situation where from that stereotype, we're always placed in that position. Some, not always, you know, some situations, I mean, a lot of situations are different. But in my opinion, for that particular situation, I just think that, you know, look at the position she was put in. The white lady came up, she was being racist and stuff, and this lady could have overreacted and just snapped. You know, but no, she tried to be as civilized as possible because I'm quite sure she was aware of the stereotype. You know, no matter if you're female or male. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna look at us like we're animals. You know, what you think?
I mean, my build on that one. I mean, we can't be surprised on white America. We can't be surprised on America, point blank period, from before half of the slaves or some of the slaves came over here. You know what I'm saying? All the way up until during and afterwards. You know what I'm saying? Because of nothing never changed. You feel what I'm saying? Even after the emancipation, we already the Jim Crow era. Okay, we seen how people reacted towards black people back then. No matter how you dress, you could have spiffed yourself up, put on a suit and tie. If you was caught in some particular areas in the South, you was still gonna get jacked. You was still gonna be hung by a tree. You was still gonna be like pretty much, you know, put into a situation where you was gonna get killed. You feel what I'm saying? And that's just the crazy thing about it. Now, when we see white America do what they do, the only thing that we can actually say to ourselves is, you know what? I ain't surprised. You can't be surprised by what white America does, because white America has been consistent with their shit. You know what I'm saying? And we are the only ones that have not been consistent with our shit in certain areas in the diaspora, in that diaspora where we act as if racism does not exist. We act as if white people don't have a bit of racism in them. We want to believe that every white person out there is changed, totally changed, because the day and time that we in 2018, we no longer in the 1800s. You feel what I'm saying? 1700s. You feel what I'm saying? So with that being said, you already know a white person calling a black person a nigga is a sensitive topic.
Correct.
That's sensitive. You know, brother to brother, yo, my nigga was good. That's more of an endearment and greeting in the conversation. You know what I'm saying? Yo, so when another person from out of the ethnicity of the melanated race say that, of course I will feel some type of way about it. I can't control what's gonna come out my mouth after that. You feel what I'm saying? Or what my reaction will be. You feel what I'm saying? Am I responsible? Am I accountable for it? Yes, I am. Because I can choose whether to walk away from it or I can choose to engage in some nigga shit. You feel what I'm saying? I could be on my black tip, where I could be diplomatic and walk away from it, or I could get on my nigga shit and be like, who the fuck is you talking to?
That's right.
See, Francis Cress Wilson already put that out there, the psychological covert warfare, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
the whole nine. So, I mean, with that being said, I mean, we just got to look at things from an outside perspective. Was she wrong? She was dead shot wrong for doing that. But can I wrong the sister? I can't wrong the sister to a certain extent. There's a reason why I say I can't wrong her to a certain extent, because at the end of the day, you can talk shit about me, but you can't take away my dignity and my pride. It's like putting an animal back against the wall. If you put an animal back against the wall, what it's gonna do? It could be the most cowardice dog. What that dog gonna do?
Fight his way out.
You feel what I'm saying? It's gonna bite your ass. It's gonna tear that ass up. So what they did was they put that woman back against the wall. You feel what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, what most people don't realize is, okay, outside of the black race,
right?
Yo, you want to know what? That person pissed me off. I'm gonna call her a nigger bitch, or I'm gonna call him a nigger. You feel what I'm saying? And then the moment you retaliate on them and the whole nine, they try to put you in the wrong because you retaliated. Because they try to say words don't hurt, but truly indeed, you fucking with the most sensitive race on the face of this planet due to all of the chaotic shit that happened to black people. So of course they're going to be sensitive if you raise that topic or you raise that word up in a conversation and you conversing.
Yeah. Okay. And words hurt, because I mean, you could argue with somebody that don't even speak English. You cussing them the fuck out. They may not understand what you're saying, but by looking at you and your expression, all they know is something. You know what I'm saying? So in a sense, words do have the ability to affect people. You know what I'm saying? They may not, I mean, in a physical way, they not just, you know, stabbing you, but emotionally, you know, people say the right things, you know, things happen.
Okay. Now, to tie into that, we know that, like I said, this happened in Georgia. This is Gwinnett County, to be exact. Okay. We already know this is Whiteville, Caucasianville. Okay. On the flip side, what do you think would have happened if it had been a black woman going on a racist rant towards a white cashier?
She wasn't going to jail. That was just the end of it. Like, they called the police, and police really wouldn't have gave a fuck about what it was about. As soon as they expressed to the officer that she was threatening them in any type of way, the officer would have went right into just, you know, because he gonna come in there in commando mode anyway. You know, so I mean, you already know, man. They, for some reason, but I think it's something that ties back to ancient times. For some reason, they have this need to try to exterminate us. You see what I'm saying? Because it takes a lot to kill somebody. You know what I'm saying? And to go home and act like nothing even happened.
True.
You know, think about it. Soldiers go off to war. They come back with PTSD, you know, from all that killing.
And try to pretend like nothing ever happened.
But even the ones that go crazy, how is it that these officers can go out here and kill unarmed citizens
and not suffer?
Not suffer. They go home, you know, they fine. They eat whatever they eat, you know what I'm saying? Go to church.
Well,
you know.
Just to chime in on that, there is some type of mental issue that they deal with. The only difference between them and a soldier, they are not regularly mandated to seek help. The police department doesn't care about them seeking any type of counseling unless it goes into a criminal case against that officer. That is the only time that officer is told, okay, you have to take leave and you have to get counseling. If it's anything outside of that, they can go on as if nothing happened.
They do. I mean, man.
Can I add on to that? Now, the only time they seek that psychological evaluation is when they're going into the police. And that's to add on to what the Queen was saying. You feel what I'm saying, yo? And if they don't pass the psyche evaluation, they can't be popos. You feel what I'm saying? They can't be 5. You feel what I'm saying? Now, with that being said, now, we're looking at the whole thing of when you have somebody in combat and they're out there 24/7 and they don't come back for 2 years. So that's 2 years consistently. But that police officer that's in range in the whole now, what the people don't know out there is that the police have a time to go on vacation after that year to relax, release. But these cats out here in the army that's out there in Baghdad, wherever they at, Iraq and shit, they out there fighting 365. You feel what I'm saying, yo? For 2 years, 4 years straight in a row. You dig what I'm saying, yo? So of course they're gonna come back with a little bit more because that popo might just see 1 or 2 heads get blown off. But what if you seen 5 of your squad members get a whole muffin pushed back? You feel what I'm saying, yo? And that's like 20 cats, and you probably the only one that survived out of it. But you're looking at a whole bunch of brains peeled all over the floor, and you're like, God damn. You feel what I'm saying, yo? Now you gotta pick up their dog tags and shit like that in the whole 9 and bring it back to the admiral or the general, whoever. You know what I'm saying? So they could send it back to the family with a flag and shit like that in the whole 9. So that'll fuck up their whole entire psyche. But to get back to the Queen, though, if it was a black woman that did that to a white woman, dead ass motherfucking serious, her ass will be up underneath the motherfucking goddamn jail. And we all know that. Let a motherfucking black woman come out her motherfucking mouth and say anything outside her motherfucking mouth about any other race outside of a black race, oh, they're gonna throw her ass up underneath the jail. See, you talk shit about Jews, that's anti-Semitic. You talk shit about fucking daggone Hindus, that's being hatred. You talk shit about fucking daggone Asians, that's fucking discriminations. You talk shit about anything outside of the melanated race, black African Americans, you're gonna get fucked up. It's just like Paul Mooney said that shit. Yo, boozy, big butt ass bitch. I don't give a fuck if there's no motherfucking damn room in the jail. Hawk tie that bitch to a motherfucking tree. We ain't got no trees left? Well, put that bitch in my motherfucking kitchen and have that bitch cook my goddamn food. She gonna work this goddamn deal out, this sentence out. We're not gonna let that motherfucker walk out. So that's the thing about it. It's fucked up. Because either way you put it, we in a messed up situation. It's like we literally grabbing a blade while the motherfucking dudes, the other dudes, have the handle. And the more we sitting here trying to pull towards us, we cutting ourselves. Yeah. We drawing blood. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So we in a messed up situation. We in a lose-lose situation, point blank, point period. You feel me? Yeah. So baby girl could have said something. If she was in the opposite way, it would have been fucked up for her. Yeah. Because it don't matter whether it was a white man or a white woman she said that to, an Asian man or Asian woman she said that to, a Jew man or a Jew woman she said that to, she would have still been fucked up. I mean, think about it. Motherfuckers was getting shot just because they were sitting here saying, what did you pull me over for? Yeah. Why are you detaining me? What was it, last year or the year before last? They turned around and shot that dude in the wheelchair?
That was last year.
They was telling him to put his hands up?
I saw, you know what? It's ironic you said that. I saw that. I think it was yesterday. I saw that video for the first time because I think one of my cousins sent me that video, and it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? They could have tased this man. They could have shot him to disarm him. But for one, it was like they was in what do you call
kill mode?
Like it was like 3 or 4 officers, but they was like. They went behind they went like on the side of the building to where you couldn't see them, but they were all in a line as if they was in that firing line. You know how they
the SWAT line.
Yeah, SWAT line. Yeah,
and they shot him down or whatever. But this is to add to the thing. Remember we was talking about PTSD with them. I think that okay, just hear me out on this. This is my opinion. I don't even think PTSD affects them. Let me tell you why. Because it's like somebody that grows up hunting, right? When you grow up hunting, which is something that they love to do, when you grow up hunting, you have a thirst for the kill. You know what I'm saying? Now, they also grow up hating us and being taught to hate us. You see what I'm saying? So when they kill one of us, it is nothing for them. They're proud of it. So therefore, it doesn't affect, it doesn't affect them as if they was in a war. Because people know when you're in a war, like you say, you constantly killing, it only affects those who have that conscience to understand that killing is wrong.
And they never been through that shit
before.
Never been through.
Yeah. You have those who don't care about life or those who feel that I'm down for the cause. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna do, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna do this and do that and not even think twice about it. Just like the same officers here. We got these officers who fathers, probably who grandfathers, great-grandfathers was probably Ku Klux Klan members. Ain't no telling what they saw as children. You know what I'm saying? So seeing someone black get killed is nothing to them. You know, I mean, we gotta think about it. They used to kill black people and be at social gatherings doing this shit.
Yeah, picnic together. Yeah,
picnic.
Pick a nigga.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, pick a nigga.
So, I mean, these people have no problem, but they say if these people so-called come from the ice and they was in the caves, this is what they had to do. For their food, they had to kill. So that means that when they woke up in the morning to eat that breakfast, the first thing they had to do was go kill something. So it was in them. They felt like whenever they needed something or they was gonna take it by force, they was gonna do it. Because throughout history, that was their thing. If they signed a peace treaty, all the peace treaty was just something to give them enough time to go back, figure out whatever plan they was, strategy, gather up how many arms, because the baddest thing they made was the fucking gun.
Yep.
Without the gun, they would have never, they probably would have never made it out of the fucking Caucasus Mountains.
Nah. And then to add on what you're saying too, is what I've noticed through the penal system, if they're going to look to recruit people as CO officers, right, Queen? Or they're going to look for them to recruit them as regular patrol cars, they have to have no conscience.
Yeah,
you feel what I'm saying? Because if somebody can easily swindle you and say, well, my babies is in the car. Please don't lock me up because I got a suspended license or whatever in the whole nine. That officer that got a conscience, he gonna be like, you know what? Just go ahead with your kids, or I'll just give you a ticket, or I will just impound the car. Make sure your kids get home, even if you're driving on a suspended license, because it's actually up to the police officer discretion whether they want to lock you up or not.
That's right.
You did?
Yeah.
But they got to get some low life, no conscience having motherfuckers to turn around and actually get you locked up in the whole nine. Because those are the motherfuckers, regardless of what you tell them. Fuck you. I don't give a fuck about you. Fuck you. You ain't shit. I mean, you ain't shit. You never gonna be shit. You won't amount to shit. Okay? Then you got the motherfuckers in the COs that's actually in intake and actually in the general population, right? Doing head count in the whole nine. Some of them faked it till they made it. They might meet a motherfucker that's real, that respect them and talk different, know how to articulate themselves the way how they need to articulate themselves. You feel what I'm saying? And they be like, you know what? You get an extra train, my dude. Yo, what you need? You need to find out when your when your court date is. I got you. But let another motherfucker that look just like you, that don't know how to articulate himself correctly, turn around and open up their mouth and talk all that nigga slang shit. Yeah. Hey, cuz, hey, cuz, hey. I'm trying to get your attention. Oh, fuck ass nigga, bitch ass nigga. See, now you got some of them. Most of them, when they walk up in there, the real ones that's fucked up, because they rotate shifts. Yeah. They put all the good ones on the same shifts. And they put all the bad ones on the same shifts, right? So you know, once you get locked up and you've been in there for like some months, you be like, oh yeah, I know the fucked up one's gonna be here. And you wanna know what? Every now and then they'll trick you. Because they'll mix some of the good ones with the bad ones, and the good ones that would help you out, they can't. Because they know that the motherfuckers that's been there longer than them will turn around and be like, well, he cutting favors for motherfuckers in the whole goddamn nine. He got a conscience. Yeah. See, this is how they're able to walk up in your room, turn around, raid your room, throw the Bible on the floor, throw your family pictures on the floor, throw it over the balcony and shit, and tell your ass you need to clean this shit up in about 5 minutes. If I come back in about 5 minutes and that shit ain't motherfucking clean, I'm gonna do this shit all over again, all the way up until it's time for you to eat breakfast.
But you know what? And to add to that though, but when you locked up, truth be told, they supposed to do that. Because if they make that shit like a hotel, niggas gonna be comfortable. So in essence, when you go to jail, it's supposed to be the worst experience of your fucking life.
However, you're not supposed to be made to feel as if you're an animal.
You should. Yes, you should. To me, in my opinion, I think when you go to jail, you should be made to feel like you're an animal. Because jail, think about it. Jail is to where you are outside of society now. Like now, you belong to the state because of whatever crime you committed. Yeah, okay. You had the choice. Gotcha. It's not. It really shouldn't even be humane because it is something that, for one, we all had a choice. Some of us are thrown into worse situations. You know what I'm saying? And I understand that. But, you know, what it all boils down to at the end of the day, you know what you signed up for. So when you get locked up, it should not be nothing of the sort to where like now, like look at it now. Niggas go to jail as a rite of passage now. Cause they come out, nigga, I did 10 to the door. And you got other niggas like, boy, that nigga hard. You feel me? Oh, that nigga real. That's bullshit. 10 years of your life
that you can't get back.
Done. You feel what I'm saying? That should not be something that you come out proud of. You know what I mean? So I think that when you go there, it should be one of the worst experiences of your life because it's supposed to make you not want to go back. So even if you still gonna be a criminal, you need to be the, I mean, I hate to say it that way, but you need to be one of them niggas that just never get caught. Because when I got locked up, man, I heard too many motherfuckers in there, first of all, kicking it like they was something that you know they was not. Because niggas that really own in jail, they got major backup. And they gonna be in there forever. You ain't gonna, you know what I mean? If you in there for misdemeanors and shit like for what, some shit that I was in there for, you ain't even gonna be around the niggas. You know what I'm saying? But to think that when I'm finna get out, You know how you in that process where you got your clothes on, they gonna fingerprint you that one last time.
And take it.
It's niggas in that bitch talking about what they finna go do when they get out to come back in that bitch. You feel me? I'm like, y'all niggas is stupid. You know what I'm saying? So I think it should be one of the most inhumane experiences, man.
But you want to know what to add on? I'm just to add on to my cousin. Jail, they make it inhumane, and I found this out about police officer. I can't even shout out his name and shit, but he said the reason why we act like this and we're so fucked up is because if it was a bed walk the way how prison is, you wouldn't even give a fuck about getting locked up.
You wouldn't.
We gotta make it so fucked up and so unconditional for you while you're in jail. So therefore, for the minds that are not on that level of like becoming career criminals, that they would turn around and say, you know what? I don't even want to get locked up no more, go through the process. Because if these niggas is sitting up in jail for 2 fucking years and having to deal with this inhumane bullshit just to go to prison, they're not even shipped off to prison yet. They still waiting to get shipped off to prison, because most people think that, oh yeah, just because they see them a motherfucker go to trial on a murder trial and shit like that, they think that motherfucker get shipped off to prison like ASAP. No, that motherfucker sit up in prison for like 2 to 4 years, depending on if the prison is overpopulated. He gotta wait for a position that's open. And most of the time, 9 times out of 10, you might be in Georgia. We in Georgia right now, but your ass might get shipped off to Alabama. Your ass might get shipped off to Florida. Your ass might get shipped off to fucking daggone Tennessee, North Carolina, or something like that, wherever they got room at. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta be doing fed times to get shipped out of prison. I mean, get shipped out to another state. But the reason why they turn around and they do shit like that, they make it so inhumane, is because they try to break you down psychologically. But what they fail to realize is, I don't think white race know this. You put motherfuckers in slavery in the whole 9. You thought you was gonna eradicate, fuck our minds up to the fucked up most, right? You created breathing forms where the word motherfucker actually was invented off of that. Okay? To demoralize the woman and that son or that man and his daughter. You dig what I'm saying? You turned around and actually came up with the emancipation. And after the emancipation, then you had the Jim Crow, you had the Pigeonry, you had the Black Color Act, and the whole daggone 9. And you still couldn't shake us, even though you thought that America was about to go down because the United States did not have any more slaves anymore, right? But you're seeing black people, the old ex-slaves, still surviving, multiplying, and never dying. Okay? You turned around and created crack out of your government facilities, your army bases, and you thought it was going to kill off the black race as much as possible. But before that even happened, you turned around and created Parenthood. Margaret Sanger turned around and said that this is for the infidels, the miscreants, the uneducated, the retarded, the imbeciles, the black race, the colored, the Negro. Okay? Still couldn't shake us. So that's why you turn around and you see all of these motherfuckers still now, to this day, 2018, and they still getting locked the fuck up because they're not afraid anymore. You can't shake them. You couldn't shake them when you was on the way over here through the passage, through the transatlantic slave trade. You was throwing motherfuckers off in the ocean. And for the motherfuckers you couldn't throw off in the ocean, what did you do? Some of them, you deported them into Jamaica before they even made their way into South America and North America. The real rebels that they thought that was it, they dropped off in Jamaica. But they fail to realize is a lot of those slaves faked it till they make it because they seen what was going on in those countries right there when that was the pit stop. You know what? I'm gonna wait until I get to America and I'm gonna fuck around. I might end up running up on somebody from my tribe that know me, and everybody else, when they see who I am, I could get these people to tally up and we can cause a fucking damn riot in this bitch.
There's plenty of riots that happen.
But go ahead, Queen.
Okay. I'm not even gonna touch on that subject because my viewpoint's completely different. So we're just gonna go ahead on past that one. Just recently, there was a family in South Carolina. It is, if I'm not mistaken, the family name is the Gills family. Now, there was a generation of the Gills family that picked cotton
Okay.
In South Carolina. This family's, I think this is like the second or third generation from the slavery generation. They all pitched in together their money to buy the plantation house and land that their family lived on.
Okay, so basically telling me is the sharecroppers pitched in, all the sharecroppers that stayed on the land turned around and pitched in.
This is way past the sharecroppers.
No, I'm trying to tell you something. They're still considered as sharecroppers.
Yes.
Because for the ones that left after the emancipation period and they went their own way, even if they migrated up north, if the slave master was able to talk the people in, the black people into staying and paying them or allowing them to stay on the land and promising them a piece of that land, they were sharecroppers. Because even though he might not, if he paid them or if he did not pay them and they lived on that land and whatever, they had a certain particular commodity, right? If they could hold for themselves, which was their profit, that they can sell to make money themselves, right? If the slave owner didn't own them anymore or didn't pay them, they can make money on their own, right? So what you're saying is for all these people that you're talking about in that particular diaspora, they chipped money together, and when they chipped money together, what they did was they want to buy out the plantation now from the plantation owner. That's what you're saying.
No, but this is recent, like last year, recent.
I know that.
Okay, this is
that's
okay.
I know that. I'm just trying to let you know that they're sharecroppers.
Yes, in that context, yes. However, when I say that this generation wasn't sharecroppers, because the people that were on the land as sharecroppers, they have already passed away. So that piece of the land was no, if you're understanding what I'm saying now.
Egypt is supposed to be descendants of sharecroppers. I understand what you're talking about. Because politically, they're still descendants of sharecroppers. They're supposed to get that piece of land regardless. But that's how Georgia did the Yamasee tribe. They took the land from the Yamasee tribe, even though they was given the land by Oglethorpe. But go ahead.
Right.
And you're right. Yeah, I mean, but what you're saying, I'm not saying that you're wrong, but what I'm saying is I'm trying to make sure I got the sense before I answer your conversation. Okay. Yeah.
So what the family did, which is the grandchildren, I guess you could say, the great-great-great-grand, siblings and whatnot, they all gathered their money together and contacted the family that owned the land, because they were technically selling the land and the house. They contacted them and said, hey, we want to buy the house and the land because our family has ties to this land.
That's some tough land. Go ahead, keep talking.
From picking cotton. There's a history of their family.
I like that.
And so they were able to actually buy the house and the land. So now they own the land that their family had to pick cotton on. Okay? It is now in their family generations for generations. This is theirs. They technically got their 40 acres
and a mule. Hold up, they got 40 plus. 40 with the plus.
How much land was it?
I don't think it didn't specify how much land. From what I'm seeing,
had to be a lot though.
It was a cotton plantation, so
right.
that was in South Carolina.
That was
in South Carolina.
And you know how beautiful that land probably
is. 50, 60 acres.
So the fact that the fact that the Caucasian family themselves were selling it, they didn't want it for them to be selling it. Why? I don't know, but they didn't want it.
You know how much money niggas still get for cotton?
I'm just letting you know.
I know
that.
You know what?
Now hold on.
Okay.
I know the reason why they stopped doing it, but
now, given the history in South Carolina and given the history of slavery within the states, do you think this needs to be a trend amongst
white people?
No. Okay. Amongst ourselves to go buy back the land in which our ancestors sweated and bled on and died on in order for us to be where we are now?
I say, God damn right. I say yes, simply because It's as if our ancestors worked this land, fuck it, they cultivated this shit.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Hell, the family got paid for it. I mean, they profited from it. What I'm saying, it was free labor, and I feel like if my family had blood, sweat, and tears on this motherfucker, and I'm telling them what kind of vile things they done, they done to any other slaves that they had on that land, I think it would be fitting, and if we come from a spiritual standpoint, I think the spirits that are stuck there would appreciate that a Black family, especially the family of probably some of the spirits that would be there, owns this place now.
It was 30 plus.
Now, to add to that, there's another story that I heard where I'm not particularly sure the state that it happened in, but there was a part that had this Confederate statue there, right? We all know about those statues.
Right.
So they wanted it removed. Now this is modern day time. They wanted it removed, right? This is kind of recent.
I'm looking at it right now. That's what
I'm saying. The way that they went by, it was these two brothers. They were Black guys.
Yes, they were.
They were lawyers.
Yes, they were.
And they raised the money to buy the damn park.
Hold on. I'm gonna show you how the brothers is slick.
They bought that motherfucker.
During the time when the shit was going down, and it was going down August the 18th, 2017, they allowed the Black people to do a march and a rally, and they tricked the white dude, the European, right? So what they did was, while their people was doing the marching and getting the cameras on them and thinking it was a different entity, what they did was they negotiated a deal outside, acting like they didn't know nothing about these motherfuckers, and they just wanted to buy the motherfucking park. Now watch this though. They turned around and signed the motherfucking deal. Less than 2 days later, they turned around and took down that motherfucking damn statue. Now all the motherfucking damn Confederate motherfuckers in Memphis, because it's in Memphis, Tennessee, they pissed this shit. They said, "You tricky motherfuckers," because they found out that the same motherfuckers that was at the march, that was their people. But the march was the decoy.
Got you.
To get the camera crew and all of the publicity media on these people marching over here. And while they was marching over there, the brothers was over here like, yo, on some real shit, yo, I got the money for that. We just want to buy the park because we it's monumental. They sold them a dream.
It was, but it was smooth, and it was. I think it was one of the best ways to go about it because it was quiet. So really, it was on a level where it didn't make too much noise. You know what I'm saying? So nobody really got embarrassed.
Actually, the Confederate,
I mean, they did, but it wasn't like public, like super headline.
Yeah, that shit was.
I mean, but a lot of people don't know about that because people who are into that knows about it. You feel what I'm saying? But when something is major headline, you don't even have to even know anything about that to know that that's going on. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. It didn't make front page. It did to those who know, but we talking about to the mass, the general mass. Everyone didn't know about it. And that's, I think, when we doing stuff, that's how it needs to be right now. Because when they know too much about what we're trying to do,
that's one.
And one thing you gotta give it to them, man. They smart about how they attack stuff. If you're not on your shit, they gonna eat you up, man. Like one little crack in your armor, it's almost like your boy Achilles. One little crack in your armor, and your ass is done.
Hold on, one quick second. To add on to what the bro was saying, right? My cousin was saying. They said the latest anonymous donors helped divide Memphis public parks, right? Crews removed 2 Confederate statues from Memphis parks after the city sold them to a private entity, right? Filed in August the 18th, 2017, photos of a statue of the Confederate General Nathan Bradford Forrest sit in a park, right? And this is the dude that he was known for being owning slaves and killing mother. Yeah. So they said it sits in the park in Memphis, Tennessee, right?
Mm-hmm.
The city council in Tennessee has voted to sell 2 city parks where 2 Confederate statues are located, and the crews have begun to work to remove one of them. The commercial appeal report Memphis Mayor Jim Strickland said in a tweet Wednesday, December the 20th, 2017, that the park was sold and that work underway. Hold up. That work underway. They comply in state laws, right?
Yep.
The city council approved the sale Wednesday to a private entity. See, it's not a private entity.
Nope.
The reason why they don't want to, they say it's a private entity is because it's 2 black men that turned around and bought those parks. Why? Because the main people that go there were not white people.
It was black people.
Yes. They got tired of seeing that motherfucker on their shit. And you want to know what? Hold on, bro, before you go there, because I know you're about to go there, and I want you to open up like a motherfucking cannon. If most black people thought about that, especially up north, when we're talking about all these racist motherfuckers that we got high schools named after, streets named after. If we thought like that, shit can get changed. Because this is what I said to you, Queen, yesterday, right? If they're bringing up charges on Bill Cosby or some shit that happened to Bill Cosby 40 years ago, 50 years ago, 30 years ago, what's the statute of limitations? So so if there's a statute, if there ain't no statute of limitation and you bringing up shit on Bill Cosby and all these other black people and the whole damn nine, that means I got charges on your bitch ass. On these niggas that I'm living on their street. Let's name it after a motherfucker that we represent, that represent us.
But you know what? You gotta think about it. It's not justice, it's just us. So really, they can do it, but we can't do it. Because think about it, they make the fucking laws. If we do something they do, what are they gonna do in return? Go back and change the law. You feel what I'm saying? They're gonna amend that shit some kind of way, you know, and then guess what? We're gonna start all over again.
No, I wouldn't say necessarily start all over. It's the point of contention where within our community, this is something that we always say, there is someone that has to be your lawyer, someone that has to be a politician, someone that's in the healthcare field. So as long as
keep talking, Queen,
you have these people set up in the parameters that will help to align what you need to achieve in order to get what you want, you cannot fail. Our issue as a whole is the fact that we are stuck in the crab in the bucket mindset.
And we stuck in the I want reparations.
You can't. We're stuck in the give me.
It's
you have to go take it.
Not even that. We have to. Well, I can't say what we have to be because you know there are people who are really actually in the front line. So I don't want to say what we have to do. My opinion is, I just feel like if we understood the concept of just truly coming together. You know what I'm saying? On the level of like, to be like, okay, send out the word that we're not going to shop at any Walmarts. We're not.
And that technically was done once.
But
it actually happened very
we talking about
strategically.
But we talking about around the world. Everywhere where black people are at, we have to have that type of communication. Wouldn't it be nice if we had a system to where everywhere where we at, we had something set up to where our children can go. Our children should be able to go to these places and learn. And we have people there that would take them in, and you know what I'm saying? And we would have to do the same thing because we should have these type of connections. Because I think if we were to create a movement to, when I say take over, I'm not talking about take over as far as like when you think of a war. if it came to that. But I'm talking about on a level where we could step away.
You're not. You wanna know why? Because every device that we use to communicate with, it is a spying device. So every which way around it. If we're not doing it on the black market to where it can be completely covertly covered up, they're gonna find out. Point blank period.
But even if they did, what if we could create so like okay, for example, like back in the day when they had the NBA, then you had the ABA, but the ABA had more black players, so it was more versatile versus the NBA was more corporate. Meaning, my point is, what if we could step away from them? Meaning that if we really need them for anything, we just need it for the jobs until we create our own. We just use it we'll use it to create income, to build our own business, and we generate the income with each other.
I think that might be the main frame of where we are now.
But they don't. It's to me, it takes too long. And the reason why I say this is because, man, we had we had, from the 60s and beyond, we had great leaders who really would go out there and try to create something, for the people. Like nowadays, that shit is not happening. Niggas is not trying to die on that level. Because if you're gonna be a leader, think about it. All the great leaders, the number one thing that they gave up was their life.
But you have people doing that, though.
But you know what, though? They didn't give it their life. They didn't give it their life because they wanted to.
No, not because they wanted to, but I'm talking about it's like in order to be in that position. I mean, we were talking about in that position to lead the people. You're gonna have to know, and that shit's gonna have to be internalized. That look, you have to have the attitude that today is the day of today. You know how they have that like how a warrior would think today is a good day to die, but they know that they're not. It's like they say that because they don't fear death, but they know that they're not gonna die as well because they're gonna do everything in their power.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
But it's a possibility. It's a slight possibility. But
right.
But hold on though. They say 3 a.m. Crews removed 2 Confederate statues from Memphis parks, right? Mm-hmm. After the city sold them to a private entity, the council had earlier voted anonymously Wednesday to sell 2 parks where Confederate statues were located, and crews began working right away to remove the General Nathan Bedford's Forrest statue, right? At the second park, the statue of the Confederate President, Jefferson Davis, was later taken down. The park was sold to Green Space Incorporation for $1,000. Stop.
Damn. 2 parks.
Stop.
Was sold for $1,000.
That's a piece, if you think about it. Hold up, wait a minute. So you mean to tell me I could have been on the fucking park in my fucking name?
But you know what? But it's more than just.
Hold on, I ain't done.
You know what I'm saying? Because you got to be able to put together.
No.
She got you. She got you. She got you.
On this right here.
She got you.
It's easy. You want to know what the problem is? We don't keep our heads in the news, in the newspapers, because they post this up.
Yep. We miss
on
it.
Websites.
Yep.
They post it up in the newspaper,
right,
as well as in the courthouses.
Right.
So for all us Negroes that's going into the court,
right,
for a ticket, citation,
right,
it's posted up on a little bulletin board.
We don't read it.
You know what?
You don't read it.
But you know what?
It's easy.
One, it is, but you got to think about it though. Throughout most households, but think about this though. Throughout most households, how many Black families really are into that though? To know, like, even like, because we really don't know. Like, a lot of us are not aware of these things. Even when you going up through school, I can't name one time in school that I ever heard about anybody looking through the paper to buy a part. I mean, not saying specifically, but even to talk about anything even remotely close.
It's the issue of generation. Just like you were saying with the leaders in our
get them
present past.
Right.
There's a generation that came afterwards that did not pass it along. So you have
we was just talking about that shit.
Generation
my man
that was out there doing the footwork, and then you have their children that dropped the ball to not pass it along to this generation.
We just talked about that shit.
Great grandchildren.
I was in Texas, and he just said that shit, and I said, "Yo, bro, you're right."
Yeah.
He said, instead of the older generation teaching the younger generation how to own businesses, how to teach them to do trades and crafts so they can have a craft under their belt. The whole chain line process. If he was a carpenter, I'm an electrician, I teach my son how to be an electrician, then I send my son with him to go chill with him, and he teach my son how to be a carpenter. I take his son, I teach his son how to be an electrician. See, that's how we survived back in.
That's what I'm saying. The ball was dropped with the next generation.
I'm agreeing with you, and I'm saying that we all right.
To take it further, that neighborhood would employ both of them.
Thank you. And guess what?
You know what I'm saying?
Now you got more people because you're multi-crafted. You're versatile.
Yeah.
So therefore, now you can pick up some more apprentices, even if you have 2 skills under your belt, right? You got 2 different ways of making money.
Right.
And now you can pick up more youngins that can come up under your belt. You can teach them the craft, perfect the craft.
Because you know that's what happens. I mean, like, I love all my uncles, but I can't tell you nothing that they ever taught me. And I ain't talking about on the level of survival. Well, not even kind of on the survival level, because a lot of my uncles, they can build houses from the ground up, but no one has ever been like, hey, let me, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, let me show you
this. You know what I mean? And I don't know if it's because it's clearly somebody had to pass it on to them. You know what I'm saying? But it seems like in our culture, a lot of that goes on to where there's certain types of knowledge that one may possess, but they would never pass it on to the next generation. They'll take it to the grave.
Yeah. Well, outside of that, the Caucasian has completely strategically put in place a method and a way to stop the passing along of a trade. It started with a high school diploma, then it started with a college degree. That was the way to stop the passing along a trade for a job. Now you have to have no. I'm telling you, it was put into law to strategically stop.
But watch this though. Queen, can I say something real fast? Bless the argument real fast. See, they did that, and I know this because you know my occupation. We all know my occupation. And when I see Caucasian, or I would see pretty much a European sitting here with their children in the truck. They teaching them how to shift. They teaching them how to take up certain things. And I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. That motherfucker ain't even supposed to be in the truck. But let a black man do it, or a black woman do it.
That's what I'm saying.
They will call them. They'll be like this, videotaping the whole shit. And next thing you know, you get fired from your goddamn job.
And you lose your license.
But you know what? Because, see, we have to go about it a different way. You can't do it in front of them.
Well, it's outside of that.
You know what I mean?
But how many of us actually own our own business, though?
No, you're right. We don't.
We don't. But
the thing is, like, say for instance, you have a father that works in a bank, right? He has a high position, maybe underpaid at that point. You know what I'm saying? But he has a high position, and for him to be at that point, he's good at what he does, right?
Okay, right.
Now, if that father teaches that son everything he knows, that means by the time that son gets to that bank, that son's gonna be a badass motherfucker. You feel what I'm saying? With a purpose, though, now. You dig what I'm saying? Because the father done gave him the 411. And because the father done sat back, peep the mistakes and everything. You know how we learn. Right, you know how we learn that shit. Then you teach him, and then once you taught him, now he, but he has to have the mentality of teaching the one under him. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because think about it. You're a banker, right? From your oldest child to your youngest child, you don't taught them everything, but you got it to a level where the oldest teaches the one under that one, and then that one teaches the one under that one, because for them to do it that way, they understand each other's language. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So they're gonna teach it to each other in such a way that they are able to understand it. So when you come and you're asking everybody's on point. Because this is what they do. Because it's even shown in the Bible though. For for the Bible, for the people that's actually into the Bible though, right? Yeah. Because you got Joseph that was a carpenter, and then he taught Jesus. But then Jesus became a carpenter as he was older. When he wasn't teaching and doing his stuff, you know what I'm saying, yo? He was actually telling people, doing his carpentry shit, building tables and the whole nine. So you're right. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? You're right. You know what I'm saying? That's why I always tell motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? Pick sense out of nonsense. No matter whether you're reading from the book or you're watching it on TV, your laptop, your computer, or your cell phone, pick sense out of nonsense or whatever on the whole nine. Right. Because you know how to actually read things the way I need to be read. You know what I mean? Taking 1 second, okay? I'm sorry. Turn it up. No, I ain't. What's your answer? Okay. All right. Well, I'll be there after we got done. All right. So, what's the next question, Queen? Okay. You ready? All right. Yes. Ready to go. Is Genuine transphobic? You want me to answer that? Boom, bam, in your face. Let's go. Can we all know the answer. But is there a video for it? Huh? Is there a video of this show? Or no? They just talked about it? No, it was broadcasted on national television. Go on my YouTube. Go on my YouTube. I would love to see it, but I would share. Can you please share screen, Queen? I'm sorry. I'll say something. No, because I want you to say something before you see it, though. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna say something now. No. Because you explained it to me though. You told me what happened. I know, but I want you to see it for yourself before you say something. Let me just say this though. I bet. Because listen, transphobic, right? Meaning that you got a fear. Chance, right? Now, let me just break this down. To me, the times that we live in, okay, it's like everybody is so insensitive. You feel what I'm saying? Because what is the big deal? The fact that this straight man does not like a transgender who is a man that just chose to change sex. Doesn't make you a woman. Listen, this is a Coca-Cola bottle, right? Just because I take a Sprite label, if this is filled up, if this was made and it has Coca-Cola in it, and I put a Sprite label on that mug and just change the top, does it make it a Sprite? It's still Coca-Cola, right? If you drink it, it's still gonna taste like Coke, right? Thank you. So why would a man feel comfortable kissing another man just because it looks like a woman and it changed into a woman? But not even change it to a woman because it doesn't have a period. It cannot reproduce. So it did not change into a woman. But we're talking about basic state on state, like society and the way how they look at it. The transgender woman, even though it's not a real woman. And I'm agree, yo, it's all day 24/7. We on the same topic. You feel what I'm saying, yo? Think about this.
remember what I told you yesterday, right? If they drew that motherfucker blood, right? They did a genetic test on that motherfucker, right? His chromosomes ain't gonna pop up XX.
It's gonna pop up XY.
Thank you. That's 2.8% less than an XX. So with that being said, you a dude.
So I think that it's not him having a fear or a phobia against a transgender. It's the fact that that's not how he rocks. Period. It doesn't matter what you look like. And there is, to me, my opinion, there is no, if a dude, a straight dude, can actually date a transgender, that dude is gay. I don't care what nobody says, because you know from RIP that that person was born a man. Now, if that person is born a man, then on the inside, that person is still a man.
So what about this? Though? They say that Genuine is transphobic, right? He's suffering from transphobia, right?
That's what they're saying.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's weird.
So what about them, that person, India, and I ain't afraid to call the name, India. I'm looking in the camera. All right. And suppose if India is actually heterophobic. Heterophobic would be more of a motherfucking actual solution to the situation.
Afraid of men?
Yes. Or afraid of women that don't want to go that way. They know that person don't go that way, but you're pushing yourself up. They never gave you an inclination that they were interested in partaking in that opposite. You feel what I'm saying, yo? So when you push yourself up on that person, even though they never gave you an inclination, are you a heterophobic? Are you mad at the fact that the man, heterosexual, rather to be with a woman, a real woman that was born as a woman, no sex operation, she can have babies whenever she wants to. Are you afraid of the fact, or are you mad at the fact that she has the options that you don't? Listen.
You want the video?
One more time. Oh, hold on, before you go.
Okay.
The reason why they're mad is because I see the gift that a woman has and the attraction that a natural woman has to a man. I could have babies with you if I felt like it. If I didn't pull out fast enough. If I didn't wear a condom. If I didn't have the plan B. You feel what I'm saying? If you had the free will to choose to be with a man and converted yourself from a man to have the free will to choose whether I want to be with a woman or I want to be with a man that converted over to being a woman.
Right. Because it's technically still a man. But they want to kick it. Society is so watered down to the point where they can even try to fathom and say that it's a woman. It's not a woman. It's not a woman. It's not. It is a man. It is a confused man, but nonetheless, it is a man. It's my opinion, yes, but something has to be wrong on the inside for you to look at yourself and actually be able to be cool with it. Because every day you're dressing up, you're playing, I don't want to say trick or treat Halloween type shit.
It is trick or treat Halloween.
It is because a lot of the, I don't even want to say trans, just a lot of the men that I see that dress up like women that just walk around in the city, they don't even act, women don't even act how they act. Not even the bottom dykes. They don't even act that way. But even on the flip side, when it comes to, gay women, a lot of the way that they act when it comes to the studs, men don't act like that way. No. But it's deeper levels. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, because I know a lot of people were scarred physically from, a lot of sexual abuse and different things. So I could understand that could, alter the mind. So, when it goes to that level, that's a different subject. But I'm just saying, from the standpoint of me being a straight man outside looking in,
Mm-hmm.
the day we looking at, the day we live in now, the fact that it's okay to come out, which is cool, to each his own, but look at it how they do it now, though. It's more of, not all of them, but there are a lot of them that are more aggressive with it, such as just like the one with Genuine.
India.
Now think about this. If that had happened in the early 90s.
Oh man.
Listen now. Think about it. Genuine would have had to react different.
Yeah, he would have.
He would have fucked that person.
He would have had to though. Because think about it. That would have been career suicide.
Yes, it would have.
If you'd have played it the way he played it. Now see, now it's acceptable, but the fact that he played it cool.
Yeah.
But if this was the 90s.
But you want to know why he played it so cool? Because he was sitting around a whole bunch.
But too.
And it was on national television.
That, and he had a lot to lose.
Very much so. A lot of money to lose.
It was a setup. It was a setup. It was a setup.
There. He had a lot of money to lose. Because think about it. Oh, he did that. Whatever endorsements he had or sponsors, they would have been done. Because they'd have been like, oh, that's like a hate crime.
Yeah.
And that would have been over with.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, but look at the position. That's a bad position to be in.
But he should have known. I mean, to think about it though, if you're going on a dialogue or a diatribe with three fucking transvestites, or I would say 3 transgenders,
yeah.
All right, and then you only have 1 real female there, 1 dude there. It was set up from the beginning with. Because remember what I told you. You know what I'm saying? You're a queen. What I told you.
Yeah. I mean, you had the show that they were on is called Big Brother. So there's no other form of entertainment other than the people that you're sitting around.
So if you were going to have a dialogue with a straight man, a man that you consider to be sexy, as a transgender or a woman, you needed somebody that could defend him as a woman from a woman's point of view, so a woman can state, I don't want to be with no man that has been with a person that was born as a man, even though I have nothing against you.
Right.
Only thing I'm saying is I would rather to be with a man that's been with a pure 100% woman.
Right.
Because we're not talking about the UK because we don't live in the UK.
Right.
Because if he turned around and kissed that person when Genuine came back, it wasn't a black community that was going to crucify him. The white community, the European community would have said he's openly gay.
Yep.
And now his career would have been down the toilet.
We would have crucified him too.
No, I know.
Even a lot of motherfuckers been like.
However, but it's because of the black community that is gay, he would have gotten a major support and
that yes, but we gotta remember now, Genuine is, in my opinion, he was an entertainer that still had his credentials and still being a tough guy in a sense. We ain't talking about gangster tough, but in a sense, you never heard of Genuine being fucked with. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But he just did it.
So
they would have pulled his card.
That's what I'm saying.
But that would have been a prison move though. Because what they would have been like on some prison shit, he got talked out of his manhood. Didn't I just tell you that?
Yep.
He got prison talked out of his manhood on national TV and he was not locked up.
Yep.
They would have said he openly came out, and it's not Black America. Because whatever we say, we don't give a fuck. We don't like Young Thug.
No.
America likes Young Thug.
No, but I will say this though. True, that's yes and no. Because he has a generation of black kids and teenagers and some grown niggas. Some of us.
He ain't came out.
But I'm saying some of us. No, I'm talking about Young Thug.
Oh, Young Thug.
He has a generation that's following him. And I'm gonna tell you why. Now, I listen to some of his music, but at first, when I first heard, we focus on this. So a lot of stuff, if it's not lyrical, we may not want to listen. But we also are fans of music. Mm-hmm. And listening to his music, doing the amount of music that we have done, it takes work to put a lot of that shit together. Yeah. It may sound crazy, but there is a process though to doing it. You feel what I'm saying? And one thing that I will give him above the rest of them is that he definitely stands out from the niggas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because he wears wedding dresses and sucks.
No, I ain't talking about the image. I'm talking about the rap skills. His skills stand away from what the rest are doing. Although he still has that generational sound. You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of them, at first they was kind of on the Future tip, but now they on that kind of like Migo flip. I mean, the type of flow that they do.
But you said the right thing though. You said the key ingredient. The grandfather, because it was Future. Then after Future, then it was Rich Homie Quan. After Rich Homie Quan was that nigga who you might not when okay, let me convert, bring it back. Okay. Now, with that being said, Future, when he started getting a deal for himself and started getting recognized, he got way more mumbled.
Very.
Quan was kind of mumbled, but you can hear what he was saying. The reason why Quan was kind of mumbled was because of the way how he pronunciated his words. It was like listening to Gucci Mane or listening to Jeezy. Which one you want to listen to? No, hold up, bro, stop.
I'd rather listen to Jeezy because I can understand him better. However, I love Gucci.
I can listen to both, but when we say
Jeezy pronounced
Gucci, when we say Gucci, that's like
no. Hear what I'm saying? As a person that's not from Georgia, if I had a choice to choose and I was never from Georgia and I never lived in the South, if I heard Jeezy and I heard the old Gucci, the old Jeezy, I'd rather to hear that, more than I hear that, because that was the old Gucci.
Yeah, that's old.
Now that's why Gucci came out with his new album and his new mixtape. And he said, these motherfuckers say I'm clone, but I ain't clone. I'm the real motherfucking deal. I'm me. I just know how to perfect my words now.
But you gotta think about it though. Look at the generation that Gucci Mane was leading. It was different from Jeezy. You feel what I'm saying?
But we still predecessors.
They came together though.
But what I'm saying is because this is what I mean. Like each generation has a sound. Whether people like it or not, Gucci Mane brought on a particular sound to the music. He had to find his way until he got to that point. But yet and still he did. Even a lot of the people that he discovered. I mean, he discovered so many of
Fuck
these
all that.
art. No,
is he better than you?
No, I mean,
all right. Is he better than you?
No, we're not talking about.
I'm saying if you were Ghost.
If we were saying
if you were a signed artist, and I know you, I know you.
Come on,
we've been knowing each other for 17 goddamn years. If you and Gucci had the same record deal at the same amount of time
back then,
you feel what I'm saying? And you look at yourself from back then, you were lyrical as a motherfucker back then. And even when he was locked up, you were still making money. You were still doing what you're doing. And you invested your money in the right real estate, in the right property without having nobody there with you to actually a woman to sit there and put money in, your money into the right areas. Just music only.
Right.
Because you're smart enough to do the money transactions when it comes to businesses and real estate yourself.
Right.
Do you think he can outstand you on lyricism?
No, of course not.
But the reason why I'm saying that to say this. Remember when everybody seen the Amigo and DJ Academic? Like, come again? Right. Come again? Come again?
No one understood what the hell he was saying.
You're from Georgia. You understand him.
I don't. I'm not from Georgia.
But a person from out of state that never been down south
may not understand it. Right.
Remember when I meet Quint?
Yeah.
Quentin, yo, that's my cousin. That's your cousin. That's my cousin.
Right.
When I heard Quint for the first time, I didn't understand it.
I had to translate.
He had to translate it. He was sitting in the passenger seat. I was like, yo, what the fuck is he saying? And he laughing the whole time because he understands Quentin. I don't understand Quentin because I never lived down south a day in my life. Now, that's what I'm talking about.
But even still, I'm born and raised from Georgia.
Right. And me too.
I didn't understand him.
Me too. But see, that's why I have the type of understanding I have about when it comes to them, because what I'm looking at is this: when an artist comes through, when I see an artist create a wave, I'm not talking about just a simple trend. We're talking about how does that shit affect the city, the area. You feel what I'm saying? When Gucci Mane was doing what he was doing, because this is when I was with like 762 really doing a lot of shit. So they was connected to a lot of people. Dude was doing a lot of work, but he was like at that time coming into his own. You dig what I'm saying? The sound was more of what
that was my club.
Franchise Boys was doing.
Yeah,
D4L. It was more or less that. It was, but I'm saying it was more or less that sound. It was the time. That was the time. I mean, that was that sound at the time. Okay. But see, when Gucci Mane started doing stuff, it was different from. It stood away from that. You feel what I'm saying? It was totally different from just like let me give you an example. When Franchise Boys did white tee, he did black tee, but which in its own right stood totally away from what
I'm not knocking.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm not knocking what you're saying, because Young Dro copied his certain particular styles of Gucci. That Fruity Pebble. No,
I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say that.
I would say Young Dro.
Hold up, let me tell you why. Hold up,
got a lot from T.I.
No, I ain't even gonna say that. Let me say something on this, cause now I don't know him personally, but I do know people that do know him personally. You know what I'm saying? Now, what people don't know, Young Dro, well, a lot of people do know that know him. Young Dro been out for a long time. We talking about well before.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, like I know
Tip. Are you talking about before T.I.?
Before Tip was, you know what I'm saying? Because he was already doing stuff.
Okay.
You know, and I know, like, I'm gonna tell you, like, as far as like, I remember at one point in time, Young Dro was with I don't even know if I know you from Atlanta. You should be familiar with Raheem Dream.
Heck yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Do you know who that is? You know who Raheem Dream is? So he had a my fault, yeah, I'm treating him like foreigner and shit. My fault. But that's old though. Yeah. That's like way back. Like you know who Sammy Sam is?
No, what is that? Sammy Sam is.
Yeah.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? That's like way back. You know what I mean?
Oh man, come on.
That's
I knew about Kilo before I knew about Tech-9.
No, but that's
no. I'm saying as a person, no. As a person,
it's like more modern. We talking about like,
but that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to let you know. As a person coming down south, I got introduced to Kilo first. I got introduced to Tech-9.
I mean, but that's but you know how old you know. I mean, not age wise, but I'm talking about not age wise. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm talking about as far as the era when we were.
No, I know, but Kilo is just like listening to Rakim. It's just right there. Because he was ahead of his time. It's like listening to Pop then or Biggie then, and then listening to Pop or Biggie now. And hearing what the rappers now that are talking about what they're talking about, you're gonna be like, yo, Pop and Biggie better than you, motherfucker. You ain't listening to sound like shit.
This is how, like, you know, Dro got that history because he was with Raheem Dream. That had this thing called Tight for Life Training Camp, and it was him and another dude that it was called Tight for Life Training Camp.
Okay.
It was Drama. Y'all remember Drama? It was him. It was Fabo from D4L. Now another one that was with them was a guy I know him personally. I went to school with this dude. I know certain people in his family. He knows certain people in my family. His name we call him Tonton. I ain't gonna say his real name, but we call him Tonton. His name now is Tommy Gun. He doing real big like now. He do music now. He going real hard right now. He got man, his album I can't think of right now, but he had to drop the album. Man, this album goes stupid hard. I mean, it goes stupid hard. He had one song called, I think it was something like Depression. Like, man, like it's crazy, you know what I mean? But it was him, and then you had Young Dro. You see what I'm saying? And you know, he was way back then holding his own. You know what I'm saying? Then I remember he ended up signing with well, I ain't gonna say he signed with him, but I know he was fucking with Rocco at one point when Rocco had the label Rock and Roll. Do you remember that? Because even Sammy Sam was fucking with them then too. This was right before he signed with Tip. You know what I'm saying? Right before he signed with Tip. You know. So Dro, if anything, a lot of niggas a lot of niggas stole styles from him because Dro was like crazy versatile. He did a move like what Jay did. He dumbed down a lot of his music because Dro really, he has that ability to go all over.
Teddy Boy did too.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, a lot of them did to break through. You feel what I'm saying? But you know, these niggas are highly intelligent. These niggas, you know, real street niggas and shit. Cause now I do know of my partner, my big dog Knight from SOB. Him and Joe used to be real tight, and they used to do a lot of music together and shit. You feel what I'm saying? So you know, the dude got history, and he's a stand-up dude. Like Tilt got real history and a stand-up dude. You know, so I think that a lot of people they know, but some of them don't know. But a lot of niggas, you know how niggas listen to other niggas.
The question is, Fruity Pebble. Who came out in the South? Now I'm not talking about the North. Who touched the Fruity Pebble scenes before the other cat?
But see, you know what? That's hard because when you say, but listen, when you say that, because you got, because listen, no, I'm not being biased. You got to think about it, bro. When something hits, and a lot of times certain artists say things or present certain styles, this shit is already going on in that level. It's like when me, remember how me and you know that Fat was the first one saying like this, and what that means.
Oh
But think about it. Next, from when we was the only ones at first, when niggas was like, what is that?
We the only ones saying Mike Vick, seven grams, Then
it spread it out.
Watch your mouth.
You know what I'm saying?
Watch your mouth.
then it, you know, spread it. You feel what I'm saying? This is what I mean. So just because like Gucci may have said it, you know, because I'm not talking about Fruity Pebble, this Fruity Air Force Ones and all that, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he the one that created that, because that was a whole generational thing that was going on in the A. He was just the one to put it to the record first before the next nigga was gonna do it.
Okay, so hold on. Before you go there, just before we end off, you know what I'm saying, yo, I want you to put the subscribers, and please click like. You hear me? You see it. All right? Yo, the fans in the building, man. They're giving you a rundown on Atlanta. Yo, this ain't the last time you're going to see the fans, yo. That's my cousin. You know what I mean, yo? 17 years plus. I want you to go ahead and give them a rundown when it comes to Atlanta history, what they see now compared to what you was growing up on. Real fast and a short.
Well, I'm gonna tell you a lot of stuff. Number one thing is that it wasn't as many men. It wasn't as many men that was openly gay.
No.
Like, that shit was just,
you didn't know.
That was like a taboo subject. Like
Very.
That was something that would either get you excommunicated, alienated, damn near assassinated.
Yeah, that was even in families. You had families
that were
gay, but you didn't find out until you were an adult.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, they knew, but you didn't know. You didn't say it. You know what I'm saying? That was one of the main things. And then another thing is this. Like, the way niggas are, like the way the gangs are now. Like, I'm just saying, it's crazy. Like,
it's insane.
Here, like, I see, like, you know, Blood's got a major move, you know. There's no, you know, everybody had their time, right? It's no thing. But what confuses me is this. When they are flagging, they wear opposite colors. Like, I don't understand. I thought that if you are a Blood, you don't wear blue or anything close to blue. But I see these young guys flagging, wearing blue jeans, blue shirts. Like, it's ridiculous. Or I see they also are gay.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
There's a gay blood gang.
I mean, I'm not knocking it. I'm just not really understanding because
that's the generational pull, because now you have the gang effect.
And that, like, but
anything makes a gang.
Anything, right? And they're willing to go without a purpose. You know what I'm saying? But knowledge. But this is the thing too, though. Code of ethics. A lot of time though, these niggas don't necessarily ride for each other. No. Cause you see these young dudes, man. These young dudes are dying at a rapid rate. And the sad part is they don't care. But it's like in Atlanta, now that has always been not the gang part, but niggas get killed. That's always that's everywhere. But it's just like now here. It's stupid. Now it's just like everywhere you turn your head, either these young niggas, like the way they roll is just, it's like it's beyond them being out of their mind. Mm-hmm. Like when we was young, I'm 35. You know what I'm saying? When we was young, I mean, they had drugs, crazy drugs then. You know what I mean? Not like now. No. You know, now it's niggas that's 12, 13-year-old getting blazed. I'm talking about, you know, on the ski slope, you know what I mean? On the beams. Doing all this at such a young age. Mine's not even developed, you know. Mine's just like an egg, just frying in the pan. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They out here crazy, not even understanding, you know? And back then, it's like back then, niggas stood for something. You know what I'm saying? More. They had, even if it was a nigga on the block, that nigga on the block stood for something, because if he saw kids out late, hey, y'all get your ass home. And he gonna make sure that they got home. You know what I'm saying? Yes, he may be, you know, doing whatever he's doing, but that nigga got, even if he got James following him down the street, he just keeping the eye on the kids, make sure they make it in the house. Sure. And it would be a war zone. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But nowadays, you got niggas actually killing the kids. Like, come on, man. And
it's usually over stupid things.
Right,
like some shoes.
Shoes, or like the one dude that killed the one cat over a vendetta against his brother, though. You killed the baby. Not, you know, he was a young boy, but he's still considered a baby over something that his brother did. But whatever happened to niggas being neutral, or what they call people who wasn't in gang civilians? Mm-hmm. Like, it's like now they don't even care. Yeah. You know, and then everybody is so quote unquote, everybody is real. I'm real. What is the definition of being real? Is it to kill somebody? Is that being real? You know what I'm saying? Is that what you call being real? Is this being real? If you ride with me, right? I know you got 2 strikes. Nigga, I got 100 pounds in the car. I don't tell you shit. I just want you to get in the car with me. You feel me? We riding, and I'm not saying that this shit ain't yours. I ain't taking this shot by myself. You know what I mean? But I'm telling you, don't snitch. Keep it real. Am I being real with you?
Nope. Hell no.
But niggas is say, you know, oh, that nigga ain't real. So it's like that right there got niggas' mind sick. Niggas will like do some devious shit, all in the name of trying to be so real, so hard, you know. And in our community, man, it's like, I don't even understand how can niggas be so macho, but then they turn around and be faggots. True. You know what I mean? So that's, you know, crazy within itself. Like, for real. Like, it's crazy within itself, you know. But those are some of the differences I see, because the neighborhoods, hell, white folks were so smart about how they did all these little neighborhoods that we had back in the days. Mm-hmm. From the John Brothers house and the goddamn, you know, the Washington, so on, right? Mm-hmm. These folks were so smart that they, you know, black folks stayed here in all these places. It drove the property value down, dirt cheap. These folks sat back all these years and waited till it got cheap enough, till their kids was old enough to have their own families. And what they do, they came back. So Please put them up with them little vouchers or whatever they did to get them out of there. Knock these motherfuckers down. Throw up condos and, you know, beautiful views of downtown and shit. You feel what I'm saying? Going into a black neighborhood. Like, when I was a kid, I never knew that shit. I never even understood that shit.
But that's kind of the same thing that they did in the past to our grandparents.
Yeah.
It was the restructuring of the city.
Gentrification.
The regrouping. It's the same. They did the same thing.
And they had gentrification. This is regentrification.
But it was opposite though, because back in the day, if it was an affluent neighborhood, they snatched it away. Now, one is snatched away.
Boy, they kill it. And then if it's okay, they go into school, they take out certain programs, they close down the park. I ain't never seen so many basketball courts and shit just like closed, like they take the rims down. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck? You know what I mean? Kids ain't got nothing to do but get it.
That goes along with the generation that we're in, and then the parents of this generation. Because if you're not fighting for it, if you're not at the city meetings, you're not at the school board hearings, you're the reason why shit's being taken away, because you're not specifying and listing.
Right. I agree.
What you don't want to be taken out, because you have these older white people that go to all the meetings because they ain't got shit else to do.
That's right.
I don't want that. I don't like that. It's too much noise.
That's right.
It brings the neighborhood down.
That's right.
It only takes 5 of them to show up and say something. Once the gavel hits, it's done.
And with that being said, we look at situations the way how it is. The only thing that we can do is if we can change each other, we could change ourselves.
Yeah.
That's
You know
it.
what I'm saying? And our family, our children, that represents us as human beings.
That's right.
So
that's right.
When it all boils down to it, I am Otep. You are
Queen's Head Man House. Peace and love.
Peace and love. And this is the lovely cousin.
I am Lyrical Ghost, aka C Favors, aka Billy Ocean. You know,
Check out his artwork, you know what I'm saying? Yo, cousin official like a ref with a whistle, you know what I'm saying? Yo, we put his Instagram down and everything.
Oh wait, where's his artwork he did for us?
It's in the other room right there.
Okay, let's get that real quick.
We're gonna get you the artwork real fast.
Look me up at Los Fabo 35 at Instagram.
Tell them how to spell it.
LOSFABO 35 at Instagram.com. That's all the artwork.
Come on with it. Come on with it.
You want both of them?
Nah. Yeah, well, you can bring both of them.
This is just an example.
Turn it the other way. Yeah.
Spray paint art. You know, just getting,
All right.
Okay. Tilt it down because this is like some nice little glare on it. There you go. Tilt it forward.
And shout out to all the people out there that do spray paint art. I just want to say that from the teachers that I learned from that don't know me, I still want to give them a shout out to Mr. Perfulio Jimenez. He one of the best that's killing it on the scene. Can't forget about Miss Alicia Amor and her late husband, may he rest in peace, Mr. Granado Amor, who was one of the originators of the whole spray paint art thing, and just shouts out to them because I watched a lot of their videos and learned a lot of techniques. And then the guy Brett from overseas, and can't forget about Spray Casso and his buddy Brandon. Like, they're awesome. Like, I'm talking about amazing. And then the guy sketches like out of this world, But the Grandmaster. Well, I don't want to sound biased, but to me, Miss Alicia is killing them all because she learned from the originator, and then watching her stuff is just like, man, she can do anything with anything. And she has so many different techniques. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I can just only dream to get to that level, but I'm working hard, you know, I'm working hard. So definitely fuck with me on the art, you know. And you know.
And on the music tip,
Definitely.
we got y'all. You heard me?
Definitely.
Now, I'm on my Pac shit. You know, you hear me get on this influential stuff. We get on this political shit when we need to. My job is to drive the message home to the people that don't get it. You hear me? That's what we do all day, 24/7. You see us, support us. You know what I'm saying? Organized music, Black Power, all day.
All day.